Need a hand, friend? The general has asked me to protect you. Not that you need it. Oh, this sword? It's not the right time to use it. That's all. Swordsmanship is the art of using flashy moves to distract your enemies, and then defeat them in one deadly strike.
I actually really like it. And just to clarify, I'm not trying to flatter you. Breaking the bank on something just for me? How generous!
A little progress is better than no progress, right? Yes, as you command. Now, what seems to be the problem? Defeat is just another part of life. It's time to show you my moves. Just as I expected. General, they've ruined my beauty sleep. This will cost you extra. That's not fair! I ran into a bunch of fire elementals on the way here! Those guys were really annoying. Anyway, looks pretty grim here. I didn't expect the fire to be this big. This is not normal, General. Whoa! A talking hamster? You're a familiar, aren't you? In that case, this gentleman with the general must be a mage. I gotta say, picking a hamster as your familiar is rather unique. It's rare to command such respect from the general. Well, Magister, I am Valen, of the Heroic Order. How would you like me to address you? An interesting name. I will remember it. Forgive my rudeness earlier. I'll be sure to make it up to you once this fire has been dealt with. You awake? How are you feeling? If I hadn't seen you pass out just now, I'd probably believe you. You defeated the huge wind elemental, but glazed over and fainted before I could applaud. Anyone with a heart would worry about you. You passed out for a while. General Hogan and his men put out the fire. Then he returned to Hollystone. He ordered me to stay here and look after you. Before he left, the general told me to make sure that when you woke up, your memory was all right. What a strange request. Do you often forget things? Also, how much do you remember of what just happened? That kid with the huge bag and the duck on his head? He's Rowan, the second son of the wealthiest man in the Empire, and head of the Mithril Consortium. He's no ordinary child. Young Master Rowan identified the Scarlet Sorceress as the culprit, and the two of them were brought back to Hollystone by General Hogan for questioning. Her name is Muriel. People are just used to calling her the Scarlet Sorceress. You're a Magister, so perhaps you've heard of her. Muriel's attitude towards you was unusual. When you passed out, she was the first to get to you. Did you know her from before? That's rather odd. There might be enemies on the road. I'll go with you. Although, you might not need my protection. Took you a while. I've been waiting out here in the cold all day. They say it's always autumn in Ryham, but right now, it's more like winter. My apologies, Miss Hamster. I never got your name.
Are all your familiars hamsters?
Nope. That's unique indeed. Apologies again, but I have to correct you. I'm a knight, not someone's retainer. Protecting him is just my current task. It's not a lifelong post. Unless your Magister is someone like the Great Merlin, then I may consider it. Okay, I'll just wait and see. We should get going. I really want to get to Hollystone as soon as possible. I need a hot drink to help me warm up. Dura above. I really hope the General doesn't give me another assignment. That's not fair, General. These two little hamsters were watching my every move. I didn't slack off at all. Yes, of course. Thanks for your encouragement, Hammy. You must ensure his safety. I totally understand, General. Stop teasing me, General. We should get down to business. The fire at Ryham was clearly arson. Lord Franz does not seem to be in a great mood today, I see. I heard General Hogan mention that a noblewoman lives in this house, and that she has come from the capital. Nice to meet you, Lord Franz. You're different from what I imagined. I heard you were so rich and swanky that even the fountain on your estate was made of gold. I imagined you'd look like a fine gold bar. Fine. I might well be a base wretch, but that can't be said of him. What do you think, Magister? He certainly wasn't humble. He's essentially saying that Ryham belongs to him. However, it doesn't look like he was exaggerating. Lord Franz does control most of Ryham, especially the southern part. You look a bit lost. Allow me to explain. Ryham is built along the Tranquil River, which divides the region in half, north and south.
2 years ago, Southville heeded Lord Franz and dug up its wheat fields to plant grapes instead. They made a lot of money, and nowadays many villagers regard him as the symbol and source of their wealth.
They say it's a new grape variety, gem vine. In all of Asperia, it only grows in Ryham, and is so rare that it can't be bought anywhere else on the market. To expand production, Lord Franz has lobbied the Northville villagers to swap from growing wheat to gem vine grapes. Is this the mage's intuition, then? Southville is not that far, so we could go have a look around. But we should probably talk with General Hogan before we go. He's waiting for us near the plaza. Do you remember what the Scarlet Sorceress looks like? I think she was different from the woman's description. Yes, and there wasn't a feather in Muriel's hat. Muriel was wearing a plain black skirt. There weren't any gold stripes on it. That's right. Muriel has even longer hair. It's like a red carpet. This is an important piece of information. Before the fire, mages other than Muriel may have been in the village. We need to tell this to General Hogan immediately. I have to point out that this situation started after Lord Franz arrived in Ryham. In short, the intel suggests that the culprit is probably someone other than the Scarlet Sorceress. But she's still a suspect, and who knows if the other red-headed mage is her accomplice. We'll have to keep investigating. Please, think of it as a favor. For me. I'm afraid that General Hogan will kick me out of the Heroic Order if we don't get to the bottom of this. I'm too young to lose my job. We ought to look around Southville. Before identifying the culprit, we should learn more about the grape variety known as Gemvine. We bumped into Lord Franz just now, and he wasn't particularly friendly. What if, hypothetically, my sword falls out of its scabbard, completely by accident, mind you, and skewers his foot? You'd protect me, right? What a coincidence, Master Rowan. Fancy meeting you here. It looks like someone deliberately sabotaged the mechanism. The lever's broken. Could be bandits who did this, or it could be someone else. Anyway, how much do you know about machinery? Seems like the all-knowing Magister has finally met his match. Gruglins! Yes! The long sticks they carry could be used as a lever. We'd be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're here. I hope there's no trouble on the road. I'm looking into the bandits around here. Did you encounter any on your way? I chased them all the way, and thought they all retreated. Some of them must have slipped by me. Some of them must have fled. Well, here's the odd thing. The Heroic Order receives several reports a week from Northville, mostly about bandits or gruglins. The villagers are miserable. By comparison, the area around Southville isn't that much better than Northville, if not worse. But the Heroic Order never got any of their reports. Isn't that strange? Around here, gruglins are more aggressive, and bandits are more numerous. But no one reports anything. Either the gruglins and bandits are so bad that they wiped out all of Southville's villagers and left no witnesses, or Southville follows Lord Franz's orders. They dug up their wheat fields and planted grapes instead. Now their lives are peaceful. What a coincidence. The nobility all have their secrets, but Lord Franz's secrets seem just a bit more interesting. Yes, I do, Miss Hammy. My dear Miss Hammy, I'm afraid you are right again. Everything points to this cave as the source of the stench and the whereabouts of the bandits. I've come this far already. I need to see it through. Sometimes it's better to rip off the bandits quickly. Come on, let's hold our noses and march right in. Yes, it's a shame some of them are damaged, or they'd have fetched a good price. Don't be so surprised. Some collectors or researchers like these kinds of things, but you won't get much for damaged ones. But I've got a strange feeling. You know that those bandits like to bully the weak, but they wouldn't have provoked the gruglins for no reason. They're no pushovers, after all, although it's hard to communicate with the gruglins. There are loads of them, and each one is as strong as an ox. But look at these masks. They can't all be hand-wrapped gifts from the gruglins, right? That's it, Miss Hammy. That's the only possible explanation. Hiring mercenaries requires a contract, but by hiring bandits, Lord Franz could deny all accountability and even accuse them of stealing his property. That's actually ingenious. If that's really what he was up to, I might have to change my opinion of him. Yes, and it's the crest of our cocky friend, Lord Franz. Correct. These are money bags that Lord Franz and his estates used to settle their accounts. That's gotta be it. He ordered the bandits to leave Southville alone and attack Northville because they weren't giving in to his demands. That's why we seldom received reports from Southville. However, this is all still speculation. It's a big cave. Let's keep looking for more clues. What a coincidence running into you here, Rowan. How's your business venture going? It might stink in there, but it's not dangerous. Lord Franz and the bandits may have colluded, but our discoveries have not amounted to any conclusive evidence. I see. Do you know why I wanted to come explore this cave? Actually, the Heroic Order did receive a report from Southville a long time ago. A villager mysteriously disappeared. Everyone assumed he'd been killed by wolves or gruglins, but our investigation showed that he happened to be the one person who was most opposed to Lord Franz planting grapes in Southville. After he disappeared, Lord Franz's grape venture developed quickly. He made a lot of money, and gradually all opposition in the village vanished. We still need to find definitive proof. Is he still alive?
Such a quick reaction. Are you sure it's not fake?
Lord Franz, why don't you eat a bunch right here and prove it's okay? Hopefully there won't be a next time. Should we also go north and look around? We were all in a hurry earlier because of the fire. We might have missed something. Adamant Syndicate. Yes, I heard about them in the capital. A merchant guild that grew quite powerful recently. You two are awfully spirited today. We heard what the furballs had to say. What do you think? Though I suppose anyone would be upset after seeing the destruction of something they once protected. Relax. Forget I said anything. What happened? Who's that? You were talking to him for a long time. Oh no. At this rate, the evidence may be covered in snow before we find anything. Weren't you investigating the strange weather in Ryham? Any progress? Do you think he knew you were investigating and is purposefully interfering? If so, someone else may have discovered your true identity. Along with the fire, it's possible that the falling snow was also part of their plan. Hey, keep those bunny ears out of our conversation. We don't have much time. I was thinking the same thing. I'm no mind reader. Some things can be reasoned out. Also, after spending this much time together, I can guess what you're thinking. Muriel, the Scarlet Sorceress. After being accused of starting the fire, she refused to explain why she was there. There must be something stopping her from telling us. If she was trying to repair the ward, she probably didn't want everyone to know that it was weakening. Haven't you guys ever untangled a ball of yarn? The most important step is finding the end of the thread first. Things may seem like they're getting more complicated, but doesn't this just prove that we've gathered lots of clues? Right now, we're still missing that last piece of evidence. I have a feeling that everything will fall into place once we find the real culprit behind the fire. It looks like our hard work is starting to pay off. We're all thinking the same thing, right? This fire had nothing to do with magic or with any mage. Although fire elementals did appear, it was after the fire started. The fire may have attracted them. Someone else sparked the fire before they showed up. The real culprits were those people we saw in Southville before, Lord Franz's henchmen. Disguised as locals, they infiltrated the village and set fire to the wheat. I'm sure Lord Franz wouldn't just let us question him either. Hey, Lord Franz, what are you plotting? What nonsense are you spewing, insolent wretch? Guards, seize them! Yeah, if we want to avoid that, we'll need to approach things from a different angle. While everything is pointing to Lord Franz right now, I think it's still too early to confront him. What we need to do is learn more about those weird grapes. General Hogan will want to know more about what's happening here. I need to make a trip back to Hollowstone as well. Lord Franz will never admit to starting the fire. He holds a lot of power around here. Getting him to confess is something that needs to be discussed with the General. Thanks for the hard work. I'll treat you to whatever you want back in Hollowstone. And don't worry, it'll be on the General's dime. That's the most famous restaurant in town. I've never seen you spend that kind of money, General. You gotta invite me too. I've been protecting him, just like you ordered. No good deed should go unrewarded, right? That's exactly what I was afraid of. Unfortunately, there's not enough evidence to charge Lord Franz. Even if we bring witnesses to testify against him, all he has to do is feign ignorance and render our accusations meaningless. We need more conclusive proof, Something that even he won't be able to deny. Not really. Hey, General! Why are you dragging me away? Please don't be upset, my lady. It breaks my heart to see a frown on a face as beautiful and flawless as yours. What do you mean, my lady? Then it is I who have taken the liberty. Why do you ask? Does the idea frighten you? There are only two kinds of people who receive this kind of special treatment from the heroic order. The first are important figures like him over here. The second are greedy, no-good criminals like you. Didn't hear about that. Lord Franz's manor is like a fortress, and he's never been one to have guests. I think I may know someone who can do that for us. Yes, that young man could be our ticket in. We should go see him at the Mithril Consortium. You only talk in business terms, don't you? Anyway, did you happen to receive a gold invitation from Lord Franz recently? Excellent! Thanks to our friend here, we have a chance of getting into the manor now. Although my orders are to protect him, for the sake of our investigation, I will serve as your personal guard for a time. That crafty old man. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to forge invitations for everyone right now. What? Did you think that the heroic order was above using tricks like that? However, like I said, we don't have the time. Just because you have magic doesn't mean you can go around breaking into people's houses. I'm willing to overlook certain things for the sake of our investigation, but don't forget that Lord Franz has his own team of guards. Still, with so many people attending the banquet, we might be able to sneak in somehow. I was thinking the same thing. I won't say no to any help you can provide, but don't expect us to pay you back or anything. He sure knows how to butter people up. Now that we've decided on a plan, let's start getting ready. Once we're ready, we'll leave immediately. It's possible that Lord Franz is working with the Dark Mages. We need to hurry. Lord Franz is most likely going to target the nobles attending his banquet. We'll be in even more trouble if he manages to take control of them. Hey there! You look tired! Do you need some help? There are too many guards. We'll have to find another way in. I'm fairly familiar with the surrounding area, and there's only one way in. I wouldn't know anything about that, since I'm not a noble. What can you hear down there, bunny ears? The wind? How's that going to help you? Is this magic rare? That's selective, even by magical standards. All guests in attendance are rich and powerful nobles. Lord Franz sure knows how to treat his guests, huh? Doesn't look like he invited everyone over for a night of food and fun, does it? You're the only one who would crack jokes at a time like this. But you do see it, right? Lord Franz is just using this banquet to gain control over those nobles. Yeah, I really can't think of any other possibility. If all of those nobles end up as Lord Franz's puppets... No, we need to stop this before it happens. That jerk! I can't believe he's... I knew it would come to this sooner or later. Looks like our game of hide-and-seek is over. Get ready to fight. Sorry to interrupt, Miss Muriel, but you seem aware of everything. Do you happen to know where that hypo-fiend came from? Somehow I doubt it was a coincidence. If anything, it was probably part of Dura's plan. Anyway, you must have forgotten that you placed a seal on this place long ago, right, Merlin? Otherwise, you would have known someone was trying to break the seal, and we wouldn't have gone through all of that trouble. Please, General Hogan would have kicked me out of the heroic order ages ago if I couldn't even figure out that much. No need to hide it anymore, General. We all know he is the great Merlin. Letting him pretend to be a fool is harder than saving the world. I'll explain everything in my report, but there's no need to worry. Luckily, the only people who know his true identity are all right here, General. Wait, where's Lord Franz? They're not ordinary merchants. We also captured an adamant syndicate mage back at Lord Franz's manor. I'm sure you have plenty of questions for her, right? The tunnel looks like it was dug by hand, but there's no way in. The entrance must have caved in during the battle just now. Guess we'll just have to go around then. It looks like Miss Muriel was pointing us towards the heights, north of Ryham. I know a path to get there. Follow me. Hold it right there. See this? It's the emblem of the heroic order. Now tell me who sent you. What exactly are your orders? So, money's all that matters to you guys, huh? Go tell your captain that your job here's over. You can go find work somewhere else now. The news will be posted all over Hollowstone tomorrow, if you don't believe me. If you still want to give your life to Lord Franz, that's your choice. Just know that you'll be doing it for free. So think about it. This way. This looks like where Lord Franz keeps his treasures. Calm down. Why are you suddenly reacting so intensely? Considering they're connected to Southville's grapes, we should investigate. And if they aren't willing to talk, we'll have to try something else. Relax. I won't go too hard on them.
If only those guards were better at fighting than running away. Maybe then I could have beaten a few more answers out of them.
In any case, we can't let these gemvine grapes continue to spread. Otherwise, Southville will end up just like this place. Regenerate? Does that mean the grapes in Southville can regenerate too? I see. And how are we supposed to get rid of these grapes? Do I have to keep saying it? Look, Lord Franz has been... Then why are you still blocking our way? Are your lives really worth the money he paid you? Or maybe he promised you riches beyond your wildest dreams if you protected this place. Because let me tell you, you are dreaming if you believe him. You don't need to uphold a contract with Lord Franz, you know. He's not exactly a good person. I understand. You're not wrong for being loyal, but you placed your loyalty on the wrong person. Draw your weapons. It's a good thing nobody knew you were Merlin all along, or else they would have run off a long time ago. We wouldn't have gotten so much useful information otherwise. What a shame that their talents and loyalty were wasted on such a terrible person. General Hogan appreciates honorable fighters like him. Maybe the heroic order will have use for their services someday. Does that mean the seal has been mended? Will the cold weather finally go back to normal? Thank goodness it's finally over. We should go back and report everything to General Hogan. It looks like I'll have a lot of paperwork to do. Wait, aren't we missing someone? Where'd the rabbit go? He didn't just run off, did he? I know he's a natural escape artist, but he really helped us out. I was even going to ask General Hogan to reward him for his troubles. Yeah, we should look for him outside of camp. I just hope nothing happened to him.
All right. It looks like reporting to General Hogan will just have to wait.
Then again, the General's orders were to protect you. He never said for how long, though. Even though you hardly need protecting, I've always preferred to carry out my orders to the best of my abilities. Are those two hamsters of yours still around? Glad to hear it. Now go stock up on supplies. I'll be waiting for you on the Hollowstone docks. If we're going to the Dark Forest, the quickest way is to board a ship and travel north. Isn't that right, Bunny Ears? Come on, Bunny Ears. Let's get you home.
It's not often that the General is this generous. Unfortunately, we won't be able to enjoy this feast with you. General, long story short, he has been invited by the Wilders to help solve a crisis that is very similar to what Ryham has gone through.
What's wrong, Bunny Ears? Is there an issue with the boat? You're injured? That shouldn't be. My blade hasn't even touched you. Mr. Corrin, we were invited to come down from Hollowstone to help with some small problems in the forest. If I still can't gain your trust, here's my heroic order emblem. And as for these few, please, Magister, I'm not up to shouldering that title. This is my friend and his hamster familiars. As you can see, he is a great mage. Something seems off. How about we have Lorson lead us to the forest and see for ourselves? Just standing around won't help. Let's go investigate further into the corruption and the exclusion edict. Miss, I noticed there are still quite a few elderly people and kids in the tents. Are only a few of you taking care of this big camp? We need someone to stay here and ensure their safety. Considering their shortage of supplies and manpower, leaving them here could put them in danger. Whether it's lifting the exclusion edict or removing the corruption, there's no time to lose. I will stay here. Mr. Corrin, Lorson, and you, please head to the forest first. I'll use carrier pigeons to contact General Hogan, see if he can send ships to escort the refugees back to Hollowstone. Sorry, allow me to go back on my word for the sake of protecting these poor folks. You're finally back. How did everything go? Yeah, that was pretty much a given. So it even gave you some trouble. Take me next time. But I'm guessing you already solved the situation there. Not long ago, a dusk patroller stopped by to inform us that the exclusion edict had been lifted. I let General Hogan know via a carrier pigeon. He's already dispatched a ship to retrieve all of us. Whether it's returning to Hollowstone or starting a new life in the Dark Forest, these refugees have the freedom to choose. It's almost time for us to return, although I really want to stay for 2 more days and give myself a nice vacation.
The Heroic Order has affairs that I need to attend to. It was a rare trip to the Dark Forest, and now I have to get back to work before I even have time to appreciate the scenery. Let's go. Our ship is waiting at the dock.
Hey, you! Don't be in such a hurry to steal our job.
Ease off on the cool one-liners. It's not good for Hammy's heart. What do you think happened? So, it stopped moving because its energy source got destroyed? Unfortunately, that's all the information we can gather for now.
We just did our best. Couldn't have done it without you all. The Templar Knights.
Ha ha ha! You caught me! The road to hell is paved with good intentions. We'd be in way less trouble if your goddess had the forethought to make less of these things. General, you really do need to be less suspicious. Looks like you're getting to that time in life when worrying becomes a habit. Magister, that's not the main issue here. Wow, you really stay positive in any unexpected situation. I'm not good at handling these types of people. What happened? You might as well turn into one of those birds, flying up to any shiny surface just to admire yourself. Let me take the lead. I don't want to keep walking next to this vain man. On second thought, you and Knight Tamicia are still the best for that job. Of course. He's got the best wares for the ladies. And for friends, of course. Hey, let's discuss the perfume later. I've got some serious business today. You've been around here for a while now. Tell me, where are those golems around the camp coming from? If you guys are up to something fishy near Hollystone, that will get the general riled up. Hey, calm down. What's going on? Haggling over this box, eh? Want me to help you negotiate? Of course. You can count on me. Now, good sir, regarding this box, what's the best price you can give me? Seriously? You're out of your mind! Hey, don't forget about me. I've also helped plenty of refugees here. As a member of the Heroic Order, I can't just ignore someone in need. Don't worry. Despite our appearance, we've helped loads of refugees in the Dark Forest before. I did what I could, but what's your family doing here? Any knight with a conscience would have done the same thing. I'm not being shy, Hammy. It just feels a bit undeserved. The one who made the biggest difference was our friend here. He's the one who sorted out the exclusion edict, making the Dark Forest welcoming to refugees again. If anyone deserves thanks, it's him. Hey, Merrily, do you know why the Evergreen Conservatory is gathering these materials? Kinda lines up with our goals. Magister, should we check it out? Don't worry. Tamicia is really a softie on the inside. Is Merrily's home around here? When visiting a lady's residence, one's gotta be polite. Wait, why a bear? I could definitely be a cooler animal. Let's go. The sooner we pinpoint that girl's location, the safer she'll be. Have you seen Faye around? Miss, let's stick to the topic. Am I the only one who finds it all familiar? Those unsellable goods of the Adamant Syndicate. I'm sorry, miss, but the Magister is needed for a moment. Come check this out. It's just as you described. Wow, he's like a whole different person when talking about his work. How did this energy fall into the hands of the Adamant Syndicate? Magister, I suppose we can't hide this from the others any longer. Just like what the Evergreen Conservatory described, it seems they do have something to do with the goddess, Dura. Is this it? I gotta say, even though I lived in Hollystone for a long time, I was never that curious about the Faith Stone. The General mentioned that the stone was previously fixed on the pedestal in the town center. Until it vanished. We have no idea where it went. Just to be clear, I had nothing to do with it. Ah, I forgot you don't have a sense of humor. All right, guys, we shouldn't forget what we came here to do. That raises a question. Why was the Faith Stone left in Hollystone, rather than with the temple? This girl can't decide if she'll miss the Magister or Tamicia more. Look how close she's sticking to her. Seems like you have friends from all over. You've got quite the connections. It seems our stiff Miss Knight and this treasure hunter might know each other. Or it might even be something more. But on another note, I agree with Atalanta. Investigating the golems will be difficult. Finding clues quickly is necessary to prevent civilians from being harmed. I think it's worth listening to her. We haven't been there before, and the map is quite basic. Plus, I'm curious about what happened between these two ladies. Thanks, Lucius. Now people miles away can hear you yelling. You met Atalanta in the Dark Forest, right? I thought you had accepted her as a guide because you had a lot of faith in her.
but I noticed you subtly checking the map earlier. Of course. It's always reassuring to travel with you. You never miss any details. So, what's the deal? What really happened between Tamicia and Atalanta? Okay. You're a pro at keeping secrets. You know what? It might be time I shared a story about my first love. Hey, you seem awfully curious. But since you won't tell me their secret, I'm not going to tell you mine. I really wish I could join them. Huh? Me? My physique is a sanctuary relied upon by many beautiful ladies. Are you saying you have a problem with it? That's quite the pledge. To be honest, I'm not sure if he even needs our protection most of the time. But I understand knights are always on about protecting stuff. Leave the suspect to me. I'll give the general the full report. Take care. See you later.
Well, I'd hoped to bring you some good news, but as you've likely guessed, I'm in short supply. Those you sent out have already found evidence of the Adamant Syndicate. They're near the Remnant Peaks and are drawing closer to that rift. These people are no joke. Not only did they severely wound several comrades, but even gave a few high-ranking Templar knights a tough time. As described by the wounded, there is a girl among them who is exceptionally agile and swift. She can cut through defenses in the blink of an eye. I didn't encounter her, but thought it would be best to report the situation to you. I've heard from Lorson that his sister is an adept sharpshooter. Your aid would be greatly appreciated. I'm not worried about the Adamant Syndicate attacking Hollystone. It's the Hypogean Rift that concerns me. This is the sort of matter that could greatly use your assistance, Magister. I'd like to guarantee this sort of thing won't happen again, but as a knight, I'll never make a promise I can't keep. I'm sorry to trouble you again. I believe the dust will settle eventually, but now it's time for action. Oh, tell me more. Quit dreaming. We're alive and well, thank you very much. But these guys are pretty tight-lipped. We need to come up with an alternative to brute force if we want information. Not a bad idea. The terrain here isn't ideal for sneaking around. But that gives me an idea. Let's disguise ourselves. I think we can pull it off. As for the clothes, leave it to me. I'll be back soon. Here, try this on. The jig is up. Time for plan B. Hey, focus! She's coming! She hits hard. No wonder she's Elusia's daughter. Pretty sure I've got a broken rib or two. You're right. They don't look that similar. You must be joking. The eyes of a Graveborn glow with a pale green light. Her eyes are normal. Honestly, she looks more like a Wilder. Possibly an adopted daughter? Then I can't help but wonder about your father. You don't have a father? That doesn't sound like a proper name. What a strange girl. She's hurt a lot of people, but something doesn't seem right here. Let's take her back to General Hogan. If you hadn't tried to escape several times already, I wouldn't have to do this. General, you won't believe it. We captured Elusia's daughter. This mystery just got deeper. So, it's pretty obvious that whoever this Laura is looks uncannily similar to Abe's 11. What's in that pocket of yours? You're not going into the cell with a bag of tricks. Let's see what you've got. You think I can't get it from you? Gotcha. Here, General, take a look. You're not? Please. General Hogan said he'd only feel at ease if you went along. I wish you all a safe journey. I finally found you all. If it weren't for the villagers I met on the way, I would never think to look here. Long story short, Hollystone's in trouble, and only you can sort it out. Look, the situation is one of a kind. Once you see it for yourself, you'll understand why the Heroic Order can't manage something like this. I don't have time to elaborate on the situation. What do you say? Are you taking this beautiful lady with you? General Hogan and his men have already cordoned off the area. There's no time to waste. Let's leave immediately. That's why I said you'd understand when you got here. According to information gathered by the Heroic Order, all the witnesses said that the statue vanished in a flash. She's been looking for the Magister and happens to have lost her memory. There's also residual Hypogean magic on her. Most importantly, the statue in Hollystone disappeared just as this lady found you. Isn't it too much of a coincidence? I'm just stating the obvious. A bit of good news, there are plenty of witnesses despite our lack of clues. Most of the witnesses' statements run along those lines. The only useful intel they provide is that the statue disappeared instantly, but it isn't helpful for us. Let's talk to the others. We also received reports of an abnormal light. We suspected it was directly related to the missing statue, leading us to conclude that magic was at play. That's why I propose enlisting your help. Could the rhythmic chanting have been the sound of someone casting a spell? This is new information. General, we've gathered new intel after talking to the witnesses. What? It's been found? Where? 2 statues? Understood, General. This is remarkable. If I may ask, do the temple members think the sudden appearance of the statues has something to do with the Hypogean rift in the temple? The statues that appeared out of nowhere, and a rhythmic chanting. This part matches with the situation in Hollystone. But we detected a Hypogean's aura within Talene. The Magister verified it with magic, so the results can't be wrong. Does the Temple Codex mention anything related to this? The statues look identical to the ones missing in the Hollystone Plaza. In terms of appearance, there are no discernible differences between the 2 statues. Is there any other way we can test their authenticity? Hey, Magister, a penny for your thoughts? Hold on! Are you thinking of letting this lady purify the statue? What if the statue is damaged? I can hardly explain that to the people in Hollystone. All right. Since the temple's willing to vouch for it, and the Magister is here. I'm sorry for having doubts about you before, madam. Please, go ahead. Does the one left still have the Hypogean aura? I feel so relieved. The Heroic Order's efforts wouldn't have been able to pacify the Hollystone townsfolk for much longer. But here's another issue. How many soldiers does the General have to send to bring this huge statue back? Phew. I just sent a letter to Hollystone with a carrier pigeon. A troop of soldiers will be here soon to carry the statue. I can finally wrap this up and report back to General Hogan. Magister, don't forget to check out the statue when it's back. We only helped with moving the statue. Most of the credit goes to the Magister, and this lady here. This has been quite a mission. General Hogan said he would hold a celebration dinner for us at Traveler's Light tonight. You should come. This is a rare chance to enjoy a meal on his tab. Miss Talene, Archon Talene, you've cleared your name. It might not be my place to say this, but you're free to go now. I'm merely going through the formalities. Please don't hold it against me. Before this, emergencies arose every single time I invited you for dinner. It's almost like a curse. The General's finally treating us. I've been waiting for this for so long. She isn't here yet. Alas, I suppose we have to call off the dinner again. I was right to say it was a curse.
Don't lose heart, General. Things are still manageable at this point. After all, you know that it takes time for this huge Imperial machine to start running. Based on our analysis of available intel, it doesn't seem like good news. Not so much bad news as odd news. First of all, you haven't been on any secret adventures in the Ashen Wastes lately, have you? Don't worry, I'm just verifying the accuracy of some information. Magister, you should know that Hollystone is located on the edge of the Empire, bordering the Wilder and Mauler territories. The closest Mauler strongholds are in the neighboring Ashen Wastes. Recently there's been a lot of movement in the area because of some celebration they're holding. The Solitaries were collecting intel and unexpectedly learned of rumors of the great Magister Merlin appearing in the area. Perhaps not just rumors. The Maulers believe this to be a fact. They believe the great Merlin is in the Ashen Wastes. Yes, in one of the Mauler strongholds. The place is an arid desert, with nothing around. It's unfortunate that the Solitaries do not have a full spy network within the Mauler clans. What we need right now is more information. You're bold, as always. General, how about I take a few days off and go on this trip to protect the Magister again? It'll be Sir Valen and Magister Merlin's second road trip. Understood, General. I'll follow orders. Magister, I didn't expect us to part so soon. The day I accepted the General's orders to protect you, I thought I would feel a sense of relief when the mission finally ended. I'm not going to lie, it's been interesting traveling with you. I was able to see and experience things I would have never imagined. Don't get me wrong, Magister, but I do admit that it's been fun traveling with you and the Furballs. Although I can't go with you, please send me a message if you need anything. Unfortunately, it's time for me to go. There's a pile of paperwork that's been left untouched for months. Magister, I hope we'll meet again soon. Farewell.
General, I've brought Magister Merlin to you, safe and sound. I'm guessing you're about to talk about things I'm not supposed to hear, huh?
I'll just slip away then. Dwarves? You mean the same ones who've worked hard and shed blood for the Empire's construction? I believe the Magister made many dwarven friends during his visit to White Ridge. Are you sure we need to look into them? This feels a bit out of nowhere. Ironhold Bay. General, could you be a bit more specific? Someone from the royal capital, huh? What brings you to our little town? Don't tell me you've come to demand some end-of-year report from us. I really hope not, because I've had to write more than enough of those already. Wait a second. Is this something I'm allowed to hear? Oh, I've heard of it. It's home to some seriously talented craftsmen. They've got minds that churn out the Empire's best weapons and equipment. They outfit the Royal Guard, the Heroic Order, and the Templar Knights. Oh, Magister, I know you've got a soft spot for the dwarves. Of course. With something this important, I won't be slacking off. Don't worry, General. I'll keep the town safe. Have a safe journey. Take care, General. And you as well, Merlin.